Beautiful creatures of the world, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. It's a rainy day here in the far north of Maine, up along the Canadian border. And boy, have my last few videos been really rankling the feathers of uber liberal goofball women. And we're going to continue that pattern today in the Crown of Maine. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day wherever you might be. I hope you're having a day filled with fabulosity and dang good coffee, because you're going to need dang good coffee for what we're talking about today. We're talking about the TikTokers. Those crazy, uber liberal, ultra feminist, woke mind virus women on TikTok. We're also going to be talking about Aqua Tofana, the real Aqua Tofana, not the Aqua Tofana nonsense that's going on TikTok, the real Aqua Tofana. We're going to be talking about Italy's most prolific female serial killer, Giulia Tofana. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin on the Tofana business, let's talk about the crazy, uber liberal, ultra feminist, woke mind virus females on the TikTok. I have made friends with a lot of my subscribers. I love you guys so much, but please, enough with the TikTok videos that you're sending me. I'm not on TikTok for a reason. And that reason is I don't understand a lot of what goes on TikTok. The shenanigans over there are just like mind-blowing. I see enough of the TikTok videos on X. I'm over on X, Coffee with Kerri. Go give me a follow over there. I'll follow you back. People that I follow on X post the TikToks and make fun of the TikTokers. Oh, the world is going to hell in a handbasket, ladies and gentlemen. Society is collapsing. Over on TikTok, there are the goofy, uber liberal, ultra feminist, woke mind virus females that are very upset. They're upset because Donald Trump is president and over half the country voted for him. They have declared Donald Trump the figurehead of toxic masculinity. And now they are letting the world know on TikTok that they don't want to risk dating any man who may have voted for Donald Trump. So they're going to shave their heads and become celibate. Little do they know that men who voted for Trump don't want anything to do with them. They would not touch these women with a 10-foot pole anyways, no matter how cute they are. Now they'll be identifying themselves in the wild, gentlemen, so you'll be able to tell right away if she's worth it or not. Oh, women have gotten out of control, haven't they? Honestly. See, these particular women that are on TikTok doing these crazy shenanigans of shaving their head, going celibate, talking about Aqua Tofana, they don't understand why they don't have a man. They ain't never going to have a man. They're going to be the crazy old spinster woman with 46,000 cats. And they do not get it. Because they do not understand the roles of men and women in life or in relationships. They do not understand that the man is a hunter. He provides for his family. Food, shelter, clothing. He protects his family from harm. The woman is a nurturer. She's the gatherer. She provides stability, peace, tranquility. She nurtures every member of her family. She is the backbone of the family, the heart and the soul. You hear it all the time. When a woman passes away before her husband, and you're at the wake, and the husband says, she was the heart and soul of my family. These women on TikTok that are shaving their heads and going celibate and talking about Aqua Tofana, they don't understand that when a man is serious and he wants a serious commitment, the woman that he chooses is going to be extremely nurturing, because he wants her to devote herself to his legacy, his children. It is very important to a man that his legacy thrives, not just survives. These are the women that make fun of women who want to stay at home, women who want traditional marriages. And they're crazy. They're absolutely crazy. They're also talking about Aqua Tofana. And that sparked some controversy. I can't really get into it here on YouTube, but we can talk about the real Giulia Tofana in just a second. Young gentlemen, if you run into a woman and you are not sure if she is a great prospect for your future, bring her home to dinner with your mother. I'm telling you. Bring her home to dinner with your mother and listen to what your mother has to say. Because you'll be sitting at the dinner table, everybody will be conversing, and all of a sudden your mother will say, "Son, can you come in the kitchen and help me get the green beans?" And you'll go in the kitchen with your mother, and your mother will shut the door very quietly and turn around, look you dead in the eye and say, "Get rid of her, she's a nut job." Please listen to your mamas when you are dating. They know, they can see through the veneer. Never date a woman who has nothing nice to say about men. Never date a woman who wants you to stay home and take care of the children. Never date a woman whose priority it is to be the more masculine part of the equation. Now on to Giulia Tofana. Sicily, 1630. Giulia Tofana sold a poison called Aqua Tofana. Aqua Tofana is said to be originally made by her mother. Giulia had a brilliant business mind. Got rid of a few husbands. So she had to have a way to make some money. And she decided to market Aqua Tofana to women who were in brutal relationships. See, back in the 1600s, if you were a woman, you got the shit under the stick. You were property. You were chattel. You were bartered off by your father into marriages. It was very few women actually got to marry for love. Very few women actually got to choose the man that they married. Most times, your father would decide who you were going to marry. Now, if you had a really wonderful father, he educated you. He didn't think it was a waste. He educated you. He nurtured you into having an opinion and a mind of your own, which often the men of the times did not appreciate. But he also allowed you to marry for love, to choose your husband. But most women didn't have that choice. They had fathers who were trying to unite fortunes. And if you were lucky, your father had a good chunk of change, and he married you off to a man whose family had a good chunk of change, and the families conducted business together and life was pleasant, and the man might be kind. He may not love you at first because it's an arranged marriage. You don't love him, he don't love you, but the love grew. He would be kind, he would be caring, he would provide for you because everything was in harmony. If you were a woman whose father squandered his fortune, you had it real rough, baby. You had it real rough. Your father would try to marry you to a man to stabilize his coffers. A lot of times in these situations, it was all about the pomp and the circumstance. What appeared on the surface was not always what it was. And a lot of times, fathers who were very derelict with their fortunes married their daughters off to men who appeared to be extremely wealthy, but after the marriage, it was discovered that that man was extremely derelict with his fortunes and the families were going under, and there was discord and unhappiness all over the place. But there was a thing called till death do you part, And that is the only way you, as the woman, would get out of a marriage. One way or another. So if you had a particularly horrible, violent marriage, you would go see Giulia Tofana. She would sell you a poison, aqua Tofana. You would slowly give this poison to your husband. Aqua Tofana worked like arsenic, but was completely undetectable. It had no smell, it had no taste, and not even the doctors, the medical professionals of the time, could tell that the man was poisoned. With arsenic, there was traces after the fact. Aqua Tofana left no trace. The unwitting gentleman, who was very ugly and aggressive, because we're on YouTube, who was being poisoned slowly by his wife, who couldn't stand him, he would first end up with cold symptoms. Those cold symptoms would slowly graduate to a weakness of the body in the extremities. And as time marched on, he would vomit, dehydrate, have diarrhea, and the doctor would be called. Everybody else in the family would be just fine. The last bit of poisoning before the death throes, the last symptom was burning in the digestive system. And then you were done. Your wife was free of you. The doctors couldn't tell. You were buried, and it was over. Now, there was an antidote for aqua Tofana. A very simple antidote of the time. So if your wife started poisoning you and you started changing your evil ways, she could stop the poisoning by feeding you a concoction of vinegar and lemon. And you'd be right as rain, like it never happened. Giulia Tofana, it was claimed, helped women kill over 600 men throughout Naples, Sicily, Rome, Palermo. Be kind to your women. Take care of your women. Be kind to your women. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, what's going on TikTok is absolutely crazy. And it's no place for children to be. It's no place for most people to be. It's a cesspool and a sewer. And I am not on TikTok. I know a lot of people want me to get on TikTok, but I see enough of the shenanigans. These things are being discussed on TikTok, and it is being discussed in a very serious bent, to the point where Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has notified the FBI of the shenanigans going on TikTok. So we, although like to explore here true crime, we like to learn a little bit about history and its mysteries. What's going on in real time is absolutely nuts, because there are women that are just completely out of their gourds deranged. And if you are a gentleman and you are dating and you come across a woman with shaved head, you come across a woman who does nothing but put the male species down, run like hell, they are not the woman for you. Ladies and gentlemen, be the kindness that you want to see in the world. Do not be Giulia Tofana. Do not be these crazy liberal women on TikTok. And as always, carpe diem, because no one promised you a tomorrow.